Hello and welcome to another episode of Industry Celebrities. My name is Kimberly Scott. Industry Celebrities is a podcast where I interview industry professionals in any industry, and I ask them questions about their industry or their passions. Plus, my guests will share a little advice to their younger self. If you want to tune in to other episodes, you can do so by going to thatkimberly.com/convo to choose which platform you prefer to listen to, whether it's iTunes, Spotify, Google, YouTube, and coming soon, Amazon Alexa, but you can go there and choose. So now that I got that out of the way, I'd like to welcome today's guest, Mr. Matthew Youngerman from Live BE. Hi, Matthew.
Hi. Hello.
Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Please tell my listeners a little bit about yourself and what industry you're in.
So I am a current college student and I'm going to school for marketing and psychology right now.
Fun.
I'm at the University of Maryland University College. It's all online, which is kind of interesting. It's a different dynamic than what I'm used to.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I have to keep the grades up,
Yes, but at least you can do it at your own pace. I would never be able to
Exactly.
handle that, but I give applause to those who can do online courses.
It takes a lot of discipline, actually, like a lot more than I thought it would be, whereas showing up to class is like actually logging on and reading instead of listening, and I like to listen more than I like to read,
Yes, absolutely.
It definitely is a whole different level.
So while you're going to school for marketing and psychology, you said, right?
Yes.
You're also doing what?
I am a residential leasing ambassador with Live BE, and I am currently at the Remy.
Oh, I love the Remy.
It's beautiful. It's like the Harkins district of New Carrollton.
Uh-huh.
So we're like right next to the IRS building and behind the New Carrollton Metro Station. It's awesome. I live on site now, which is cool. So I'm only like a 5-minute walk from the Metro. I can go right into Union Station in 20 minutes. So it's been awesome.
That is fun. Do you like living on site where you work?
I love it. I was worried,
I would be the same way. I've lived in apartments all my life, and I've actually known people that have lived on site, and, some love it, some don't like it, but for the most part, they balance very well. And I feel if the residents are respectful of your time, they don't ask you work questions after 6 o'clock, after the doors are closed and you're off, and they don't come knocking at your door.
You can only hope,
Yeah. So you live on site and you are a residential leasing ambassador. What is that exactly? Because that is definitely a new term for the apartment industry and title.
So as far as the apartment industry goes, like this is something that I'm kind of new to. I've been doing this for almost 5 months now.
Wow.
I feel like it's a little bit different than your typical leasing consultant just because we do a lot of outside work as much as we do inside work. We push a big emphasis at Live BE in general on community. So we do a lot of community outreach, especially with 2U next door and like the local fire departments. I have a couple contacts that I actually went to high school with that work up in, the New Carrollton fire departments. So just fun things like that. Always going out, trying to meet new people.
Network.
Yes, all of the time, which is very new to me. I mean, I came from bartending and serving, so building a clientele was strictly networking, but now it's networking in like a professional sense.
Yes.
At like big events where, it's very different.
But it's also a skill. It's something that you're getting more outside your box, I feel, right? Because in bartending, people come to you and you build that network, but in the apartment industry, sometimes, especially in your position, it seems like you have to go to them. Is that a correct statement?
Now it's like me stepping out of my comfort zone instead of people coming up to me for a drink and conversation. Like I have to approach them and kind of introduce myself and who I am in the company. Yeah, it's just a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah. What do you like the most about it?
I like making the interpersonal connections, not only with vendors, but also with the residents as well.
Wait a minute. Since you're only 5 months in, can I correct you and tell you it's supplier partners?
Yes, thank you. I didn't know what to say. Third party, vendors, solicitors.
It depends on who you ask, but I'm a fan of supplier partners over the word vendor. Elaine can tell you. Anybody that knows me well knows that there are presidents of companies that I've known for 10 years that I say, you mean supplier partner, right? They're, yes, Kimberly, supplier partner.
I like that. I've never even thought about it like that, actually.
Yeah. I think, what is it? Server, waiter. Some people rather prefer server, others prefer waiter.
Right. I
Cocktail.
just prefer you don't snap your fingers at me, it does
Yes.
happen.
Yes. Yes. I hope it's never happened in being a residential leasing ambassador.
Not yet.
Okay,
We
good.
can keep our fingers crossed.
Yes, definitely. That would, snapping of the fingers is never good. That definitely drove me crazy.
I
It's
might
okay.
disappear a little bit longer.
So you enjoy the different connections with everyone that you meet when you're going out and meeting and doing things in the community. What are some of the things that you've done in the last 5 months that you are most proud of?
Going out in the community. Honestly, we do a lot of community coat drives and food drives.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so the entire month of December, we were waiving application fees for canned food and donations for coats, which was super awesome. And I've always placed a big emphasis on community. It was one of the big things that kind of sold me on the company itself. And one of the most exciting things in like the interviewing process that they had brought up was their sense of community that they placed. So being able to kind of start working on a company that continuously wants to give back, not just to the people that work for them, but also to the surrounding area. Like we just, right next to the Remy, the Hilltop Apartments behind us had a huge fire. And our residents came together and they put together coat drive, food drive, everything to kind of help them out. And I thought that was really cool. And that was kind of like a resident sponsored thing.
Wow. That's awesome. That's amazing. If our world would be more inclined all the way around to do that, definitely a better place. So good that you're starting there within your community and your new profession, if you will.
Exactly. And it literally costs $0 to be like a genuinely good person, to go out and do things for others that's going to continuously bring positivity into the environment. And that's important.
Absolutely. Paying it forward. And
yes.
Being kind to one another. It's not difficult. It costs nothing. So
exactly. And positivity breeds positivity.
Yes,
so the
sir.
more good that you put out into the world,
the better.
Exactly.
The happier of a place it will make us all.
It makes a difference in the workplace too, which is important.
Yes. So if you could tell someone else that is looking to change careers like you did, what advice would you give them about entering into the apartment industry, if you have any?
Been like a big change as far as accountability goes, like learning how to be accountable for not just your actions, but your words. Bartending and serving kind of gives you the opportunity to have those personal conversations that have a little bit less blurred boundaries.
Yes.
Whereas working in this industry where you have confidential information and stuff like that. So trying to just be accountable at all times and aware. Self-awareness is a big thing too, and time management. Time management has been a big one for me.
Yeah. Well, but you're learning, and it's good that you learn now and not later,
Exactly.
And you chose a career that is also something that you will, getting your degree at the same time while doing that. Kudos to you for doing it at the same time, because that's tough, no matter at what age you're doing it at. But you're getting your degree and you'll be able to utilize it. You definitely in the multifamily world, no matter, hopefully, Live BE is a great company. I'm not just saying that because I know some of the higher ups, but they do believe in what they preach, and you can see it in their actions. So
absolutely,
it's a great company to start off with, for sure. So my one standing question that I ask for this podcast is what you would tell your younger self. So what advice, Matthew, would you give your younger self?
But there's a lot of things that I would tell my younger self. Like
pick two. Yeah, let's just go with 2. How about that?
And I wasn't going to give you a hard time. I would tell my younger self that it's really, and this is what I'm struggling with right now, like it's okay not to succeed in your first set of endeavors. Like it's okay not to start like one project. Like I'm going to school and employed in a field that's completely different than what I thought I was going to be in and what I spent 3 years in school actually doing. And I've struggled a lot with like self-worth and self-value because I made this change, but it's been a very lucrative change. It's opened my eyes to, and it's kind of taken the blinders off. And that's one thing I would tell myself is don't
be so hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Don't limit yourself to just one thing. Like there is an entire world of possibilities out there, and as long as you're accepting and willing to look into them, you have the opportunity to really succeed.
Yes. I agree with you. I do feel that we all, as human beings, get stuck on something and we can't see past whatever that something is. And then we beat ourselves up when we, in our own terms, feel like, oh, it's not the way I thought it was going to be, or I didn't succeed, or whatever is going on in our minds. And if we would just not do that to ourselves, we would definitely not limit ourselves. You know, tasting a little bit of something as you go is great advice. Not limiting yourself is great advice.
Right. Not every molehill needs to be made into a mountain as far as things like that go, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those are true wise words, Matthew.
Thank you. I had to like channel something for that. I don't know where that came from.
It came from your 30-something self since
I hope
you're
so.
in your early 20s.
Oh gosh.
Well, I can tell you, you definitely did a great job here today, and I really appreciate you taking the leap of being on your very first podcast.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. This was
Yeah.
awesome.
Tell the listeners how they could reach you if they want to connect with you or they want to know more about the Remy.
So you can follow the Remy on the Remy Apartments. It's the Remy APTS on Instagram. Then yeah, so my work email is matthewy@livebe.com. And then I'm on LinkedIn. I'm Matthew Youngerman. And obviously I'm a residential leasing ambassador with LiveBE.
Okay. Awesome. If you're interested in connecting with Matthew, now you know how to get a hold of him. And I'd like to thank you, Matthew, again for being on. And thank you to the listeners for listening. My listening base is growing, but don't be scared, Matthew. You're not going to be bombarded by thousands of emails just yet.
I welcome it.
Oh, awesome. Well, remember to hit the subscribe button, listeners, on the YouTube channel, iTunes, Anchor, anywhere you're listening. And follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. And until next week, stay positive and remember, sharing is caring. Thanks, Matthew. I appreciate you.
Thank you.